right, good morning. It is time now to kick off one of the one of your favorite articles, IHSA Football Nation. Last season I did 12 of them, and you guys loved it. So here we go again, going through the weekly schedule and going through IHSA.org schedule. Be sure you check out IHSA.org. Also on Twitter, check out IHSA Score Zone, the number one place for IHSA football scores. Be sure you check it out. Let's get started. Week 1, 2018. Here we go as we kick off the season. Deep dish football game of the week. This week is Batavia versus Lamont. Great game. 7A state title champs going against Lamont. Should be a hard-nosed game. Definitely first week, and I say this for all IHSA football games, there's always mistakes. There's mistakes on both sides of the ball, and I don't put too much into the first week, but this is going to be a pretty good week of football. But again, there's going to be a lot of mistakes made, and it's expected. Preseason jitters, as you say, but it should be interesting. So let's get started. First game, Judah Christian versus Hebron, and I'm not going to go through all the games, but Judah Christian, congratulations. This is their first game for their program, 8-man football, but congratulations to them, and good luck this season to Judah Christian. Big Northern, Winnebago at Bryan, that's a good game to look out for. Stillman Valley at Dixon, that's another good game to look out for as well. Nope. Big 12, we have Bloomington at Danville. That's actually a good game. Danville, graduated a lot of talent, but Danville's going to have some key players in the positions, especially juniors. Saw them on 7-on-7 football. Was very impressed with Danville's athletes. Should be a good game with Bloomington, and I think it's Griffin Moore, their quarterback, who's going to play tight end at the University of Illinois, if I'm not mistaken. Champaign at Centennial versus at Peoria. Champaign Centennial had a bad season last season, but I think it's going to be a good pickup game against Peoria. I think Peoria is back this season. I really do think Peoria is back this season. Definitely a team to look out for. Normal versus Peoria Richwoods is a good game. Solid measuring stick for Normal High School. Black Diamond, Carmel White County versus Cesar Valier. That's a good game to look out for. El Dorado at Chester, great game. Johnson City at Fairfield, another good game. And yeah, that's about it for the Black Diamond. Rochester, Springfield, Southeastern. That'd be an interesting game just to see how their quarterbacks react at Rochester. Graduated Baker, be interesting to see. Springfield High School versus Decatur MacArthur is a great measuring stick game for Decatur MacArthur. Graduated the twin brothers. See what the Decatur MacArthur's at. And Springfield High School, they've got a great roster of kids. Sacred Heart Griffin at Normal. Good starting spot for Sacred Heart Griffin. Where are you? Yeah, that's pretty much it for that. You have Phillips going against I can't pronounce the high school. That's a great game for Phillips. Talk about another game too. Nazareth Academy against Lutheran North from Missouri. Powerhouse Lutheran North. That's going to be a great game. This is a great. That is a great, and I say this in the most positive way, not being any negative. That for this game, that is one of the best tests for Nazareth Academy. A good team first game, and I think it's great, and it's going to be a great game. Lutheran North versus Nazareth Academy. Okay. Crystal Lake Central versus Prairie Ridge is a good game. See where Crystal Lake Central is. Prairie Ridge, returning state champs. See where they're at. Crystal Lake South at Cary Grove. That's a great game. That's actually a really good game. A measuring stick for Crystal Lake South. I think they're going to be a shock to a bunch of teams this season. yeah, that's actually going to be a great game, actually. And let me go down. And just looking, Pontiac at Bloomington Central Catholic. I guess Pontiac's got a good team going up this year, so definitely a team to look out for. St. Joseph Ogden versus St. Thomas More. That's a great game. St. Thomas More's got Bryson Lee. That's going to be a great game to watch. St. Joseph Ogden has got a great. They got a defensive end, good defensive line, and a quality wide receiver. Definitely a team to look out for. Olympia at Monticello. That's another good game. Prairie Central at Rantoul. The only reason why I mention this game is Rantoul's got some key athletes that you want to keep an eye out for. Rantoul is definitely a school that might be interesting to a bunch of college coaches. Um, let's see. Pana, no, not, yeah, that's wrong. Sorry about that. Uh, where are you? Harlem versus Rockford Jefferson is an interesting game to me, just because of James Cooper Jr. See where he is at for Harlem. Again, one of the top rated quarterbacks for the class of 2021. Big name quarterbacks. Hanahu versus Gulford's a great game too. Hanahu's got a great team returning. Gulford, they got a couple players to look out for. The Pryor, defensive back. I guess they got him a little bit at quarterback, if I'm not mistaken. I'm probably wrong. Freeport at Rockford Auburn is going to be interesting to see where Freeport is with their new head coach. Northwestern Upstate Illini. Uh, I'm very interested in the Alina Winslow game. Very interested in Dupac at Forreston. That's another game that I'm interested in too. Warren and Stockton, another good game to look out for. And I'm missing one more game. I want to see what Dakota and Galena. Dakota interests me this season. Team to keep an eye out for. Saginaw. North McNamara Forsyth's a great game. I think North Max got a pretty good team, solid returning team. Uh, Auburn at New Berlin's an interesting game. Athens at Williamsville, that's another good game. Williamsville, they graduated a lot of talent. Let's see where that team is at. Athens has got a great group of players. They have a great tight end who could be one of the better tight ends in the state of Illinois. You should definitely want to keep an eye out for. Uh, yeah, so again, it'd be interesting. South Central, Hillsborough at Carlinville, definitely a great game to look out for. Um, yeah, that's about it. The Hillsborough is a team to keep an eye out for every year. I don't know why it is, but they always have my interest in the Hillsborough. All right, Tinley Park, Thornton could be an interesting game. Southwest Prairie, Plainfield Central at Oswego would be interesting. I want to see where Plainfield Central's at this season. Uh, Plainfield East versus Oswego East is a good game. I definitely want to see what I have. Plainfield East is one of my surprise teams. Plainfield South at Manuka is a great game because Manuka graduated some linemen, but I think Manuka is going to be a great team this season. Juliet West of Plainfield North, that's a huge game. That's a really good game, actually. Yeah, so that's about it for that one. West Aurora versus Larkin. I'm very interested to see where Larkin is. The coach left for South Elgin. Aurora East at Bartlett. Bartlett at Aurora East. Keep an eye out for Aurora East. They hired a new coach. Say cool coach, but that's a Bulls player. He's going to do a great job. Keep an eye out for him. Elgin at Lombard. At Glenbard East. I'm interested to see where Glenbard East is at this season. Glenbard Self at Streamwood. I think Glenbard Self is going to be great this season, especially when they move to the Upstate 8. West Chicago at South Elgin. Again, I would love to see where South Elgin's at with their new coach. Pretty much, I got the name wrong. Sorry about that. Meta Valley at Warrenville South. I want to see where both teams are at. That's a good game. I want to take a quick look and say where are these both teams are at. I really believe Meta Valley can be a good team. Warrenville South. They got a great group of young players. They have wide receivers entering their junior year and their sophomore year. See who gets moved up. It's going to be very interesting to watch Warrenville South this season. Barrington versus I think that's Warren Township. That's going to be a good game. I have Warren Township as being a huge challenger in the North Suburban Conference this year. Barrington is very good too. Coach Sanchez gets that team always ready. Waubonsee Valley versus OPRF. That's a great game. Those are two teams that are on the verge of something, and it's going to be a great season for both teams. Waubonsee Valley, great group of athletes. Carter at offensive tackle. OPRF, just a solid group of defensive linemen, wide receivers. It's definitely a team to keep out for it, and they could challenge Glenbard West. That's a key in Hinsdale Central. Sorry about that. Let's see, where else are we at? Glenbard North versus Neuqua Valley is a good thing. Neuqua Valley is a stud team, and I want to see where Glenbard North is. They got a lot of young kids and a lot of young athletes, and a lot of kids that graduated last season. Was hoping of something from hoping to see something from last season from Glenbard North, but didn't happen. But definitely a team to keep a very good close eye on. I already talked about Batavia Lamont, deepest football game of the week. Bradley Bourbonnais versus Grant. That's a good game for Bradley Bourbonnais to kick off their season. Young talent, not this year, but next year. Keep a very good close eye on Bradley Bourbonnais. Reed Custer's smart move going against Fieldcrest. Reed Custer's definitely on the build, and I believe they're leaving the Interstate 8, if I'm not mistaken, after this year. So it's good to see. Burlington Central at Sycamore is a great game. Burlington Central, keep an eye out for it. I talked about Brian Melvin. He is doing a wonderful job for that team. That program is being built into something very special. They've got new facilities. Everything's new. Hired some great coaches, two of the best offensive line coaches in the state of Illinois. One is a quality coach and the other is an offensive line coach. But again, I believe Burlington Central is going to be, when we talk about Huntley football and how they grew, that's the way Burlington Central football is going to be. Let's see, where else? Nah, not a good game. St. Viator at Prospect is a good game. St. Viator, again, they look good. Prospect's new coach, Dan DeBuff. They have not new, but one of the best quarterbacks in the state, underrated quarterback, Martin, if I'm not mistaken. Definitely a good game to keep an eye out for. Mater Day versus Effingham, that's a good game. The measuring stick for Effingham. Effingham's got a very underrated quarterback in Wolf. Definitely a guy that you want to keep an eye out for. Dundee Crown versus Grays Lake North is a good game. Arston Martineau from Grays Lake North, keep an eye out for. Carpentersville, Dundee Crown, keep an eye out for Josh Raby, one of the better quarterbacks in the state of Illinois for the class of 2019. Two great quarterbacks facing each other this game in Week 1 IHSA Football. I talked about Phillips. That's going to be Phillips. Is unbelievable. They're going to be good this season. Thornridge at Wheaton Academy. It's got my interest, but I think Thornridge is a hell of a team. this season. Definitely a team to keep an eye out for. Rock Island Allman versus Davenport Assumption. That's a great game. Very good game. Just scrolling down here. I don't know why you guys like this so much. Glenbard West at Maine South is going to be a great game, as always. Two hard-nosed teams. Glenbard West, they look revamped. Maine South looks revamped. Ryan Kilberg, safety for Maine South. You definitely want to keep an eye out for him. He's going to be one of the best safeties for class of 2020 that you want to keep an eye out for. St. Ignatius versus Gavin Hammond. I've got a huge feeling that St. Ignatius is going to be a great team. Herscher at Moments, great game. I think Moments is going to have a good year this year. Where are you? Freeburg at Sparta. That's another good game. I'm looking towards Freeburg. Great group of athletes that they have. Downers Grove South at Bolingbrook. This is a huge test for Downers Grove South. Lake Park at DeKalb. That's another great game. Last year, that was the stepping stone for Lake Park, and it's going to be a great game again this year. And I think DeKalb has a hell of a team. Conant versus Addison Trail is a good game. Two teams that I'm keeping a very close eye out for. Hinsdale Central, Naperville Central, great game, huge game with implications. And Hinsdale Central, I think they got to get over the hump. They finally have to get over the hump. That's my personal feeling. Highland Park at Libertyville, good game. Highland Park, new coach. Libertyville, a lot of Hares graduated. I'm forgetting the defensive end that graduated. They graduated the offensive lineman. But Libertyville, I still have them as one of my sleepers in NSC. Definitely a team to keep an eye out for. Stairfield against Lakes, that's another good game to keep an eye out at. Lyle at Harvard, that's another good game. Especially Lyle. Lyle's definitely a team to keep an eye out for. Another team also to keep an eye out this season is Plano. Coal City versus Morse. That is one of the best games this week in Illinois. You talk about tradition. You talk about two towns. You talk about communities. You talk about strong football. That is one of the best games this week. Coal City versus Morse. Be sure you check it out. It is a great game. One of the best in the state of Illinois. IC versus Eltoff Catholic, another good game, huge game. IC's they stacked their schedule. They had basically Eltoff Catholic, and next week is Julia Catholic. So you got to give respect to IC and what they're doing. Hoffman Estates at Elk Grove Village. I'm a little bit interested in what Hoffman Estates has this season. Bishop McNamara versus Bloom Township. Bishop McNamara moves to the Metro Suburban. I think they're going to have a great season moving to the Metro Suburban. I think it was a smart move. I think it was a great move that the Metro Suburban got. St. Teresa Decatur against Tri-Valley. That's another good game. I love St. Teresa Decatur this season. Jacardi Wright. They got a linebacker. They got an edge rusher. Keep an eye out for. Who else do we got? Just looking more down. Providence Catholic versus Lockport. Definitely a game I'm interested in to see what Lockport is at. Niles Notre Dame versus Geneva. Two teams that need to do something, need this win very most positively this season. Palatine versus Stevenson, deepest football game of the week last year. Great game to look at for. Sandburg versus LaGrange Town. LT, be very interested in J.J. Dunn and what he does taking over the helm. Piatone versus Peoria Manual. That's a great game. Huge test for Piatone as they go against the larger school. Lake Zurich versus Frimd. That's a good game because I like Frimd. Keep an eye out for Andrew Sachs. He's a athlete quarterback you definitely want to keep an eye out for. Ottawa Marquette versus Dwight. That's a good game as well. Orion versus Hall. Great game. I like Orion and I like Hall. That's a great game to look forward to. Vernon Hills at Grays Lake Central. Big test for Vernon Hills as the new offensive coordinator. Otto Zeman takes over. I still don't understand why you guys like this so much. Westmont at Seneca, former team of mine, but I'm going to say it's because they both left Interstate 8. It's going to be interesting to see where those two teams are at. Schaumburg High School at St. Charles North is a huge test for St. Charles North as they get ready for the season. And Rock Island and St. Charles East, that's another good game as well. Wilmington at Mantino, good game, good test for Wilmington as they get ready to basically the 3A conference is open wide, the gates are wide open as IC moves to 4A, which is a beautiful thing for all the 3A teams. New Trier at York, that's a great game, great game. New coach Fitzgerald and New York team going against the tough-nosed team of New Trier. I have New Trier as a team that's going to do some damage, as I say numerous times, and then I can't wait for when they play Maine South New Trier. Streeter at East Peoria, that's a good game as well. Streeter's looking good this season. Where's Taylorville? Taylorville plays out Mount Vernon. Taylorville is another team to keep an eye out for. Great quarterback. Woodstock, Marion Central Catholic at Johnsburg. That's another good game. Johnsburg, Dan DeBuff leaves for Prospect, and they got a new coach taking over the wing. Let's see. Let's go down a little bit more. And Woodstock North versus, that's actually a good game, Watauga Central, Wisconsin. So again, it's going to be interesting year in IHSA football. Keep an eye out for Simeon. I really do think Simeon is going to get over that hump this season. Keep an eye out for Morgan Park High School. Coach James took over, head of Hero. I think he's going to work wonders. Arthur Ray of Curry took over for Curry. He's going to work wonders. Curry's going to do even a greater job than they are. Keep an eye out for St. Francis, Wayne St. Francis. Coach McMillan is going to get that team rolling. Simple as that. Pretty much, basically, I'm more interested into the Central Illinois area. Derek Leonard in Rochester, because they'll be interested to see what he does, because his quarterback graduated, some players graduated. Let's see what Rochester can do. It'll be very interesting. Centralia, Coach Brennison, Centralia, that's a team to be a little bit interested in too. They got a great young offensive tackle and some great young playmakers, and there's a quarterback too that they have. Not a quarterback. They have another young athlete to look out for. I keep forgetting his last name though. But Centralia, another team to look out for too. And I really do think that Black Diamond, this is their year, and I swear that they're going to get to the state final game. So this is Coach Big Pete of Deep Dish Football. Please follow Coach Big Pete and Deep Dish Football on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. If you have any questions, please email me, coachbigpete@fp@gmail.com. And again, I don't know why this is popular with you guys. I really don't know why, but me just scrolling down games and talking about it, please visit IHSA.org, your no-to guide for IHSA football. Please visit Score Zone IHSA on Twitter. They give the scores, and they are the premier source for IHSA scores, so you be sure you check it out. I'm Coach Big Pete. If you like my work, feel free to leave a tip on the bottom. I will leave a link on the bottom via PayPal, and tip me if you like my work, please, because it goes towards the website maintenance and travel fees. Thank you so much. Good luck the first week. If you have any questions, please email me, coachbigpete@fp@gmail.com. This Saturday at 9 a.m. on Facebook Live is Breakfast with Coach Big Pete, premiering for its third season. Thank you so much, and have a lovely day.